second option. I'm going to read the opening of Where Parallel Lines Come to Touch, which is a YA short story that I applied to Lambda with.
Yeah.
It's about 18-year-old Riley and her twin brother, River, who comes back from the dead. It's very appropriate. Tonight I'm getting over some sort of food poisoning, stomach virus, so I'm serving Lazarus looks of my own tonight. After the funeral, my brother came back. The first night I was alone, and I had pushed him to the furthest edges of my mind, or at least told myself I did. I had taken to sleeping in my dead brother's bed, which is probably not what someone does when they're okay. I pushed my thoughts somewhere on brother, buried my face in my nightshirt so I'd stop smelling the grease of his hair in the pillow. I thought about making sea grape jelly, or else driving an hour north to the old theater, the one where the R came before the E. They made Italian sodas there. There was a silent film they showed with a real, living organ player. It was a nostalgia, but whose? We had to go inland to bury River, travel to drier land where the coffin wouldn't be soaked in salt mud, although most of the earth here was wet, no matter how deep you dug. The funeral home was next to an apothecary where he used to take me in his pickup truck to buy bath bombs. I loved soaking in baths. So we went there at least twice a month, but I don't think I ever noticed the funeral home itself before I had to go inside it. I thought River must have walked all the way back that night. I was mostly asleep, but I heard him unbuckle his belt, drop his pants, and a clink on the floor. I wanted to look, to see his body, make sure it was his, but the ceremony was closed coffin for a reason. I was in the corner, facing away, almost trying to lose myself in the space between the bed and the wall, because what kind of brother comes back? We'd spent our entire lives together, sleeping, dressing, undressing, bathing. It was a 2-story house on stilts, an enclosed space where claustrophobia and hydrophobia came together into a marriage. People who settle on islands know they may one day be taken by all that water, but they continue on with all their hubris. I had spent a life sharing a room with my brother. I could feel his absence. Even the floorboards creaked as he shifted his weight in only the way he could. When he slid under the comforter, he wrapped his legs around mine. They were cold and damp. I reached my hand backwards to touch the past. First the shoulder, then the tank top, which had a soft dewiness like a used washcloth. You came back, I said, staring straight at the wall. Did I go somewhere? He said in that unchanged voice. His hand came forward, touching my stomach with a badgering prod. Why are you in my bed? Did something happen? I remained quiet. There was a wistfulness in his voice, a small delight, as if maybe I had come around to something. He seemed unaware of our situation. Was it Dad? He put his mouth so close to my earlobe that I could feel his lips against the little filaments that grew from my lobe. We fought, I said. Something about losing. I couldn't. I could feel my brother pulling back, the air-conditioned prickles pushing against the space between our bodies. Losing? What does that mean? He said in an annoyed hush before easing back towards me. Forget about Dad. Do you remember when you used to sneak into my bed? Of course I did. Our childhood was marked by the secret languages we created for one another. Our night ritual was to steal Mom's flashlight, the one in the shape of a sea turtle. We used to lie in bed creating shadow puppets, then tapping our child fingers against the wall in our secret code. He reached past me, and I could see his skin and whatever light slivered its way into the night room. His flesh looked clammy as his fingers tapped into the wall, light stretching along the surface of his skin. His fingernail dragged into an arc against the texture of the paint, then back down. He drew what looked like a triangle, a lemon, an egg. He drew an invisible heart with his finger, tapping at the center 3 times. I repeated the gesture, tapping the center 5 times. River's wet hand slid over mine. I was just thinking, maybe I could use my phone's flashlight against the wall. Make your favorite animals? No, I said. I think I'm done with those memories for tonight. I'm gonna go sleep in your bed then, he whispered. No, I said again, squeezing, feeling the space between our fingers where the temperature differed. Moody gourd, he said, and rested his chin on the back of my shoulder. Water, otter, I said, holding his hand, afraid of what it could mean to let go.